Life is so much easier when you just don't stop. Makes sense? Life is so much easier when you just don't stop. You can stop stopping, but you could also stop starting, right? We get to a certain point in life, we try something on until the coolness factor wears off, the shininess factor wears off. And then we just go and we find something else and we start that, right? So stop starting. Stop starting. And so, why isn't everybody living a life of an extreme performer, an extreme athlete, right? I just ran 100 miles. I've been running ultra distance marathons now for 4+ years. I've been doing some extreme endurance type experiences for the past 6 years, really a little bit longer than that, through Ironmans, through Seal Fit Coral, through Go Ruck Selection, to the ultra distance running races that I've done. And, there's really two main reasons why people aren't living that life of an extreme performer, right? Extreme athlete for me, which turns into requiring me to be an extreme performer in all areas as well. And those main reasons are, number one, we don't push ourselves far enough or hard enough. We don't push ourselves far enough or hard enough to get any kind of a benefit. You just kind of stay comfortable. You push yourself until the comfort starts to get too uncomfortable, and you just bring it back a little bit and say, that's good, I'm good. That's why you see so many people that go to the gym for years and years and years and years with no results. Like, they're still over shape and out of weight. They're really not making any gains, but they're in the gym every day and they're hiding for something. They're doing the people that are closest to them, if they have a spouse or children, they're being selfish because they're taking the time away from those that are important to them to go to the gym to make themselves better, but they're not doing enough. They're not pushing themselves hard enough. They're not becoming uncomfortable so that they could get a real tangible result. And what would happen if they get the real tangible result? It's power there. You start to see your body change. You see your strength continue to grow and to increase. And when you do that, it feels good. You feel better. You have energy. You have drive. You have focus. You feed off of that. And it allows you to show up differently in all the other areas of your life. It becomes an example for those that you're taking time away from, right? Your family, those that you love and care for, those that you lead in certain arenas inside of your life. The other reason is they quit and they go back to where it was they were before because it got too hard or they got bored. Those that accomplish the greatest results in life, I like to use sports analogies all the time, like a Tom Brady, a Michael Jordan, a Tiger Woods, Roger Federer, Pele, right? The soccer players, Serena Williams, the greatest of the greats. And you know how they got there? They did the boring. They did the mundane. They worked on the simplest of fundamentals and mechanics in their sport, their profession, and mastered them better than anyone else. And they did that by continuing to do that and practice those basics and fundamentals over an extremely long period of time. And they were willing just to do more than their competitors. And so life is so much easier when we just don't stop. When we push beyond what we think is truly possible for ourselves. When we get ourselves to be a little bit uncomfortable. When we push our perceived limits by taking just one more step. I just completed the Keys 100, and you've heard me talk about these. And there was a 51.9% finisher rate. Basically 50% of the field that showed up for the race did not finish because it was either too hard, they weren't prepared, it was too hot, and ultimately mentally they didn't have what it takes. They were too uncomfortable in the difficult conditions. And so they pulled themselves out, or they didn't prepare themselves at a high enough level leading into the event, knowing that it was going to be in Florida Keys, knowing that it was going to be hot in the middle and the end of May. And they didn't prepare themselves properly. So they had to quit. So guess what they now need to do now? They need to start over again. Stop starting. Just keep moving forward. The easiest thing you can do is, once you get going, to keep moving. Because we all know how hard it is to start over again. If you haven't been to the weight room in years and you go back, those first few weeks kind of suck. Or you could shift your perspective and say, these first few weeks are awesome because you can feel your body adapting. You can feel your body getting sore and stiff. And that's the sign that you're moving it again. You're going in the right direction. And once you can get through that little phase, things start to get better. You start to grow muscle. You start to lose fat. You start to become and gain strength or endurance, depending on what it is that you do. And it's no different in any other area of life, right? If there's certain tasks that you stop doing that were really working for you inside of your business, really are revenue generators or needle movers, sometimes we stop doing those things. Even though we laid the foundation and the groundwork to the point where you had this well-oiled machine that was in a state of motion, right? It's way harder to get something in motion than it is to keep it in motion. And I think you can all relate to that. So life is so much easier when you just don't stop, stop stopping, quit quitting, stop starting, keep moving. Let's go.